Okay, I missed last class. Video and audio has been uploaded, but PPT is not there. Yes, I noticed that. I have told people that they have to upload the PPT. They will do it. Sorry about it. Question on intellect versus Shruti Pramanam and Tarka. In Vedanta, where should I stop Tarka and start relying on Shruti Pramanam? Where is the delineation? Just go by what Shruti says. Shruti itself talks about it, and there are enough bhashyams which tells you where the Tarka has to be stopped. Tarka has to support the Shruti Pramanam, not the other way. So wherever it is going against the Shruti Pramanam, we don't use Tarka. But to explain a concept in Shruti, we use Tarka. In verse 32 explanation, I heard in Vedanta, Bhagavan power is real versus Maya, which is anirvachaniyam. Oh, Bhagavan's power is also anirvachaniyam only. Maya is nothing but Bhagavan only. So they're all Shakti, Paramesha Shakti. He is a synonym of Maya. I said that, right? So Bhagavan doesn't refer to Brahman here. It is Maya Sahitam Brahman, right? So that is Ishvara or total consciousness which is reflected. Again in verse 34, English translation, Brahman and Ishvara are explained as same. Limited self merges with limitless Paramatma, that is Ishvara. Verse 34, let me just check. Yeah, I don't see any problem here. Brahman and Ishvara are explained as the same. Here it is Paramatma. Paramatma is the Sakshi Atma here. We don't equate Paramatma and Ishvara. There's subtle differences there. Limitless Paramatma is not Ishvara. Maya Sahitam Brahma is Ishvara. Can we consider Saguna Brahma Ishvara as Avastatraya Sakshi? No. Nirguna Brahman alone is Avastatraya Sakshi. Thanks so much. I'm struggling a bit with the Sanskrit words. I was curious if you could let us know which verses will be discussed in the next lesson. I think it's put up there, and it is also there in the chanting that I do. I'm just following the same order. You can find it on the website, on the Vyoma site. Okay. I see some few people have raised their hands. 1 second. Yes, Bhuvana, go ahead.
Harihi Om Guruji. The just one clarification. Pramata is with respect to Antakarana or Chidabhasa, right? And Sakshi is with respect to Atma.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Dhanyavad.
Yes. These are subtle differences that if you can note at this stage, it's fine. Otherwise, always you will get to it at when you do a later text.
Yes.
Yeah. Kabir, please go ahead.
Madam, my doubt is that we now came to know that we are consciousness or what is that Sakshi through intellectually, but when we go through in a real experience, we always forget everything. Like when we are doing some work, we'll forget that we are Sakshi. When we are in sleep, we'll forget that Sakshi. So how to be in that Sakshi state for how to achieve that state?
Yeah, see, there's nothing to achieve a state or anything. By repeated Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, this habitual association with the body-mind complex can be gradually reduced. So what happens is, when you are amidst a transaction, the teaching comes to the forefront. And that is why, as Swamiji puts it, the effect of that is that FIR reduction and CCC increase, which is when you have emotional impact, the frequency is less or the intensity is less, which means that you are bringing the teaching to the forefront and remembering. It's a gradual process. Sometimes it takes years, sometimes it can take decades, sometimes it can even be janmas. So just continue, that's all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Swati, please go ahead.
Namaste, ma'am.
Hmm.
Here, just now you told about Niravayavam,
Hmm.
that it is not breakable into further smaller parts.
Yes.
And here's the example of space and Paramanu, right?
That is Tarka Shastra gives
Yeah.
those.
Okay. But then you said that Maya is not Savayavam because it is not born. But I didn't get what is the connection between Maya being born and that Savayam is a
Okay.
divisible.
Okay. Now we saw 9 categories, right? In Sannapya, Sannabhyatmikanu. One is experience. Then the third one, when we were seeing, that was the one which said constituents or no constituents. So we said Maya cannot be classified in any of these things. So in that context, I was saying that if Maya has components, right, then what would happen is it can never be, it will become a karyam and it will never be a, it can never be anadi, right, because it is beginningless. So that is, in that context, I mentioned this. I said Maya cannot be any of these 9 categories. So in those 9 categories, if you see here, right, that is why I mentioned this. You go back and listen to that part once again, it should be clear to you. And also don't get confused. Space is Niravayam and Paramanu is Niravayavam only in Tarka Shastra. Space is Savayavam in Vedanta Shastra. Yeah.
Okay, and one more, ma'am. Now you said we shouldn't too much, focus on being a father or a mother. That's what you said, right? So
No,
I want
no. Just wait.
not like that. I mean, okay. What is the? I mean, there's a fine line between us taking
Absolutely.
responsibility as whatever we are, like being a mother, and at what time can we let go of that? Because if it is too early, we'll become an irresponsible parent, right?
Correct. Correct.
So how
Very
to know?
interesting. I
How
asked
to
this question. Yes, I will tell you. I've asked this question at some time, and some other senior students have also told me this. I think this is also changing, okay, with generations. But currently, in the Indian context, you can take it that getting children married is or was a responsibility of the parents. That is also changing now. So, in the context of non-Indian parents, it would be just taking care of their undergraduate education until then. And after that, they are adults. So, if they are going to be taking some decisions, our role is only to advise and let go.
Okay, no, yeah, but the regular problems of life, like making your child to brush or go to school, those things
All that
also.
is our responsibility. Now, very good point. All these we have to execute. It is just that when you execute, there is a difference between getting overly anxious and perturbed versus staying calm in and through this. So, what the teaching gives you is the ability to stay calm in and through difficult situations. That's all. It doesn't say shirk your responsibilities. No.
Yeah, that's a very thin line there. Yes,
Actually,
I guess
I think it makes more sense once, if you think about it, and when you come to that stage, you'll realize it's when the children are on their own. There are still cases where there is a lot of interference and all of that, right? So that is when it helps you step back.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess more, Shravanam and more of self-analysis will go a long way.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Sushila ji, you can go ahead.
Madam, namaste, Megatron here.
Namaste.
So, maybe it's a bit complicated. I'm myself not very clear. So, this Atma, which is consciousness, is inside us, correct?
Go ahead.
And it is outside us. So, there's a thin difference, and all that Stula Shariram and other Sukshma and Karna Shariram are in between, and we move around. If the conscious is not there, it's a Jadam. But outside us, for example, the same consciousness is inside my wife, and so on and so forth. Now, outside us, you have the two of these elements. You have space as well as air, which are not part of the consciousness. So, where is this consciousness outside us? It cannot be inside Akash. It cannot be inside the Vayu. So, where is it
permeating? It's there everywhere.
But it is not inside that.
It is there everywhere. It can't be discerned. It can only manifest in a Sukshma Shariram and a Karana Shariram for you to discern. And then through the Sukshma Shariram, a Stula Shariram. Otherwise, you cannot discern it. It is there.
So we take it as it is there.
Yes, Sat and Chit in the form of Sat, Chit and Ananda. That's what Taittiriya Upanishad says, in the form of, I didn't want to get into that discussion, consciousness, existence, and pure Ananda.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Venkateshwaranji, go ahead.
Namaskar, madam. What is the difference between Kaivalyam and the Moksham?
It's the same.
No, but Vasishtadvaitam distinguishes.
No, please, sir, I don't want to discuss Vishishtadvaitam. So many times I've told you I don't want to do it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, please excuse me, because I don't want to get into other Dvaitam and Vishishtadvaitam. Ramachandran Kannan, please go ahead.
Fine, sir.
Okay, maybe. Kishore, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Mohoday, you could hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. My question is, with that Ishvara, I cannot, that is the consciousness with the Maya infused, I really having trouble with it. So I went and finally found out that in the in the Rig Veda, there is a verse, there is a Shukta, which is the Bhagamrini Shukta, in which it's a 10.125. She claims that I am the one who I'm the one who give people what they deserve. I am the one who has created the universe. So is that the Ishvara?
See, Ishvara in Advaita Vedanta is just Maya Sahitam Brahman. That's all. That is Ishvara.
But is that the one who we can pray? Is the one who becomes happy and give us
I'm just coming to it. This Maya Sahitam Brahman is called Ishvara. And the Ishvara, depending on the people's needs, in any form, in any Saguna form, you can worship. Now, the other gentleman, right, he is always speaking about Vishishta Advaitam. So, for him, Vishnu and Vaikunta will be the ultimate journey. For another person, it will be Shiva and Kailasha. So, all of them are manifestations of the very same Maya Sahitam Brahman Ishvara, but in different forms, capable of bestowing different powers and satisfying different desires of the devotees based on what form they like and what form they worship. That's all.
Okay, now it's much clearer. Now the question is that so is it good to worship this Ishvara and then eventually gradually transition to the Supreme Brahman?
Yes. Now, if you remember in both Introduction to Vedanta as well as Tattva Bodha and Gita, I would have had a slide which would talk about the journey of a bhakta. In that, if you see, there is Nishkama Bhakta, Sakama Bhakta, asking for, things for oneself to asking for general Kalyana of the samsara, of the world, etc. And graduating from Ekarupa Ishvara to
Yes, I
Vishwarupa
remember that.
Ishvara to Arupa Nirguna Brahma Rupa Ishvara is the journey of a bhakta as he progresses from an Artha Bhakti, Artharthi Bhakta to Jignasu Bhakta to a Mumukshu. So that's the journey.
Okay.
You
Thank
have to
you,
do
madam.
it. Yeah.
Now it's very much clearer to me. I shouldn't.
Thank you.
The distinction between the Brahman and the Ishvara.
Correct. So if you ask me between Ishta Devata Bhakti and Vishwarupa Devata Bhakti, for a spiritual seeker, it's a huge leap to, get into Vishwarupa Bhakti, which is seeing the nature around you as God.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else? Let me just check. I think there is. Krishna Prasad, please go ahead.
Namaste, Bhagini. Just an extension of my questions on the question
Huh.
board on verse 34. I still saw the word Ishvara there as the last word merges with Ishvara. So I was thinking, we just continuing the discussion of Ishvara as a Saguna, Maya Sakita Brahman. And then there is also the word used Paramatma. So that's why I had that question, but I still saw the word Ishvara in the translation, verse 34
Yes.
translation.
Correct.
So is that correct?
Paramatma is Atma. Okay, you equate Paramatma as Atma. Whenever you see Ishvara, it will be Maya Sahitam Brahman.
But is it correct to say that as the self-realization we attain oneness with Ishvara? Is that a correct translation?
No, oneness with Brahman.
Yeah, but that word used is Ishvara, so that's why I was confused. Sorry.
Oh, here. Okay, one second.
34.
See, this is
34, yeah.
This translation into English is a very big issue here, actually. So that's why
I was confused.
sometimes
Sorry.
I don't even attempt that. 1 second. I think it's taking time.
34. It was just troubling me that word Ishvara and then.
Yeah.
Gains oneness with Ishvara, the last part of that sentence.
Atate samprabharupam paramatmanah yadvijnayana robandhat mukta kaivalyam ashnute. Yeah. Gains oneness with Brahman is a better translation here. Yes. See, every time I take the translation and then I change it. Okay.
Yeah,
you would have noticed that I don't use any standard text for this reason. I keep changing the words. This is oneness with Brahman is better. Definitely.
Thank you, ma'am. That's all I have.
So, but sometimes it happens like people use Ishvara as equivalent, but strictly it should be Nirguna Brahman only.
Thank you.
Okay. So Chaitanya is everywhere. Vasudev Mahadaya, I'm reading your question. And it enlivens the body. At the time of death of a person, can we say that prana quits the body and person died even though Chaitanya is present? Yes, Chaitanya is all pervading, always, right? So it is the prana, that is the Chidabhasa along with the Sukshma Shariram and Karana Shariram, which exists the body at the time of death. Okay. Go ahead, Panchanatham Swaminathan.
Namaskara, Mahodaya.
Namaskar.
I have to confess that I missed last 15-20 minutes of your lecture because my internet was not working. So if I ask a question which you have already explained, bear with me.
I will
I'm just
point you to
getting the
it.
word Ishvara and Brahman, right? Adi Shankara in his Dasashloki, he simply says, no bhumir, nathoyam, nathejo, navayo. Essentially, he's denying nothing exists. So, Ishvara, is there an Ishvara? Why not we just call it the Brahman?
Yeah, I have covered this in detail in today's class. You can go over it.
I will review
How the
that.
whole thing is mithya, especially that particular verse, I think it was 32 on Sannapya Sannapi by Atmikano.
Right.
You can
Okay.
go through that. Yeah.
Dhanyavada.
Dhanyavada. Anybody else? I think there are no more hands here. Let me just check the Q&A. Sarita, I am not clear with the relationship between Maya and Brahman. Exactly. That is Anirvachaniyam. Right? It is seemingly existent. There is a seeming relationship. Basically, if you want to understand, the nearest example is think it's you and your shadow. This is my example, okay? Because I'm trying to give you something. That's the nearest possible thing that I can think of. So, Saritaji, I hope this answers. Then, Ishwar has Shuddha Maya and not Avidya. The forms of Ishwar that we worship, example, Sri Rama had to approach a guru, what's the explanation, please? All the avatars for that matter, avatara itself means they very clearly had Atma Vidya. Okay, all the avatars definitely knew that they were Ishvara. They did not have this ignorance at all. But as an avatara, when they are going through a particular, what do you say, a drama or an epic, when they go through it, as part of that, you will have Atma Vidya, etc. also as part of it. So we have to understand it in that context, that's all. All avatars know. That is why if you say Krishna in the 4th chapter of the Gita says that, right? For ages I have been, teaching this and I know all my janmas, but you don't know your janmas, right? So he says that in the 4th chapter of the Gita. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Just one point again, I'm reminding people that we don't have a class next Sunday. Instead, we will have a class on Tuesday. Okay, so please remember that because I don't want anybody to log in at that time. Okay, and I think there are no more questions also, so we can close now. Somebody's hand is raised. I don't know who it is. I can't figure out. Ravi Chandar, yes, please go ahead. One last question I'll take. Yeah.
Just I want to say Namaste, Bhagini. Nothing else. Just wanted to say.
Thank you.
Bhagini, personally, I like the Tuesday class, but because your Sunday class clashes with so many other things. But it is okay. I will listen to your recordings.
Yeah, please go ahead. You can listen to the recordings. Thank you then. Huh? So we'll stop here.